Last year, I invited Vicky, Nick and some of our friends to compete in a Mario and Sonic rugby tournament, to see if I could recreate the excitement of the real ones like the Six Nations or the Rugby Championship. This was also to see if the Rugby Sevens game made for good esports. I think this went quite well.
So you were just trying to wind up your opponent.
It's working, I'm winning!
Now, the teams are back to compete again, and they couldn't be more excited. If you want a lowdown on how all this works, I'd recommend watching last year's video, as there will be spoilers for the first tournament throughout this series. This year, we're covering the tournament in 5 parts, 1 per round, and they'll be releasing weekly to hopefully build up some hype week on week. With that said, welcome to the second, maybe annual, it's too soon to tell, ABK Six Nations. So now I have to bring some breaking news, kind of, not really. The coach of the Goon and Goombas, Ollie, has been involved in a catfishing scandal involving actual fish, and they stole all his personal data, including financial data to do with the rugby team. It means the Goombas are suspended, pending investigation. This is where we'd do a VPN sponsorship if we were a bigger channel. We went to the coach of the Goon and Goombas for their statement.
So I, Oliver, manager of the Goon and Goombas, do solidly dispute these catfishing claims. It's the Mushroom Kingdom deep state out to get me. It's the Matrix trying to push against what I'm trying to do. This is an illegitimate tournament. How can you have a tournament without the champions? They fear me. They fear what I'm capable of. And so they exclude me. Have no fear, loyal Gooners. Like the phoenix, I shall rise from the ashes to goon again.
But actually this is just our way of saying Ollie couldn't make it this year, but if this somehow reaches a 3rd year, he'll try to make it again. This means that Wario is a free agent this year, so any team can use him. Which brings me to... with an actual real-life trophy up for grabs, and many rivalry trophies being contested, let's introduce this year's 6 teams. Each team has their in-game captain who only they can use and represents their team. We have a new addition for you to meet as well. First up, coached by Jack, we have the Brave Boos, led by Bowser. This team impressed in our last tournament by having some of the closest wins ever, with a 3-point lead in the first round and just 2 points in the final game of the tournament, and these wins helped to secure their 2nd place finish. Their only loss to the eventual winners was a significant one, but with the Goon and Goombas not here, can they turn it around and win the entire thing?
So do you see today as your big opportunity?
Oh, we're back and bowsier than ever. I reckon we can take this.
The Crushing Koopas certainly hold the reputation as the most enthusiastic team from the last tournament.
Crushing! Yeah! Crushing! They think I'm going to tackle, they jump, they land, I get them, boom, crushed!
Coached by Vicky with their captain Bowser Jr., they ended up on the wrong side of some very close games. After narrowly losing round 1 to the Brave Boos, they led against the eventual champions at half time in round 2. But unfortunately this game also turned against them, and they lost by just 9 points. Their toughest game was the competition for the tournament's most notable trophy, the ABK Jiggy, where they lost 12 points to 43. They pulled back, winning their last 2 games by comfortable margins of over 35 points in both games. Let's see if they feel confident about building on this momentum today.
Last year was just a run-up, it was just a practice round. This is the real thing, the real deal. I can't wait to dominate. Crushing Koopas, oh yeah!
Super Mario.
Named for the legendary actor Bob Hoskins, the team appropriately has Mario as their captain. Led by Nick, this team looked like a real threat in the last tournament, winning their first 3 games with try bonus points and getting at least one bonus point in every game. Their match against the Gooning Goombas came down to the wire, but unfortunately the Hoskins lost by just 5 points. Their bad luck continued into the final round, where they lost to the Brave Boos by just 2 points, ending the tournament with the bronze medal. On a different day with these small margins going the other way, it could have been a very different outcome. Is today that day?
You came third, you got the bronze medal in what I think was one of the most memorable games of the last tournament.
We were robbed. We were robbed, Phill. That's all I can say about it, really.
The only team in the last tournament to use a Sonic character as their captain, Las Condoritas had a challenging time. Led by Tere and captained by Tails, they struggled to get a foothold in the competition and lost all their games. However, the first tournament was every team's first time playing, but now, with more time to practice and prepare, could the outcome be different?
I think they took this as like a journey, as a learning journey. So I think they just quite prepared this year to actually kick some asses.
So, originally not planned to return, they're back! We decided to keep them on the same setting as last time, which I'm still considering if that was the right move in retrospect, as you will come to see. They came 5th last year. Can they do better?
Okay.
Finally, the new additions to the tournament. We have Alex joining us today with his team, the Chaotic Kongs. He has the first member of the DK crew as his captain, as he joins for his first tournament. He is mine and Vicky's real-life older brother, but will he be going home with the real-life trophy?
You got DK as the leader of the bunch.
You know him well. He's
Yeah.
finally back to kick some tail.
Yeah?
He doesn't have his coconut gun, unfortunately, but, you know, he's got some good tactics.
Once more, we will be following the format of the Six Nations. So everyone will face everyone else once, and the winner will be the person with the most match points after all 5 rounds. A win is worth 4 points, a draw is worth 2 points, and a loss is 0. Mario and Sonic doesn't do draws, so if the scores are equal at the end of regular time, that's a draw, we're ending the game. We aren't going to extra time. 4 tries in 1 match gets you a bonus point, and a losing side can get a bonus point if they are within 7 points of the winner. So for example, the final game of last tournament was the Hooting Hoskins and the Brave Boos, 28-26. Both teams got 4 tries, which means they both got the try bonus point, and because the Hoskins were within 7 points of the Boos, they got a second bonus point for coming close as the loser. Unlike the first tournament, when no one had played before, this time we had no such restrictions, and we didn't know if we were going to do a second one, so people probably played the game in the last year in differing amounts depending on how much they enjoyed that first tournament. And for that reason, we still gave time for players to acquaint themselves with the controls again, without the scores counting towards the tournament. It was just some time to warm up, try some new things, get the hang of it again. Once we begin the games, we're going straight into the competition. Another element we're taking from the real Six Nations is that the home and away sides switch every tournament. Of course, we aren't travelling to everyone's house for this one, but we will be switching who will be playing as player 1 and who will be playing as player 2 to reflect it. Not sure if being player 1 or player 2 represents an advantage, but maybe we'll find out today. Obviously the exception is the computer, who can't be player 1. Based on all that big dump of information, I randomised the matches. It's finally time to begin the 2026 ABK Six Nations. We're kicking off our second tournament with the following exciting clashes. So let's get started with our grand opening match. Boos versus Robots. Last tournament, the Boos came second from top, and the Robots came second from bottom. Who will win the first game of our 2026 competition? Match preview. The Brave Boos won this game very confidently in 2025, with a 36-7 scoreline, their biggest win to date. Given that it's the opening game, they'll want to top that if they can.
Your first game is against the Rusty Robots.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So are you confident about that as your first matchup?
Yeah. I think we're ready for that. Take on the robots, they're falling apart.
Yeah.
Bowser's been practicing, we've all been practicing. We are Bowsier and better than ever.
Jack and the Boos began as they meant to continue. In just 16 seconds they had the first try scored from Vector. So far, so similar to the game in 2025, where they took their first try in just 13 seconds. The try was converted, making the score 7-0. The robots put up some defence when the game restarted, but it didn't take long for the Boos to get passed again with another try and conversion to make the score 14-0. The Boos continued to put on the pressure, even though Metal Sonic had a bit of trouble finding the ball and was just kind of running round and round. It didn't take much pushing from Team Captain Bowser to make it 3 tries, but a slightly off-centre kick went wide of the posts, making the score 19-0. The robots made a concerted effort with 45 seconds still left in the first half to get the ball away from their end of the pitch, but the Boos wouldn't let them. The robot defence held until extra time, but the Boos got their bonus point try before the whistle blew. The kick was on target, and the teams went to half-time with the scoreline at 26-0. The second half didn't do much to improve the robots' prospects. Despite some fiercer attacks, they remained scoreless whilst the Boos scored again with Silver. The robots tried again, and even did some solid defending by booting the ball away from their try line, but Silver came again. Only the second try was converted, and the score became 38-0. Finally, in the last moments of the game, the Boos were on the attack. Metal Sonic had the ball, got over the line, and then the whistle blew before he put it down. The game ended with a win for the Boos, but barely missing a final try opportunity. It was still a strong win and a good opening match. Final score: Brave Boos 38, Rusty Robots 0. Hoskins vs Condoritas.
Super Mario.
Both these teams ended their 2025 tournaments with losses, but they are back today, fired up and ready to go. Who will win today and end their streak? Match preview. 2025's Wooden Spoon recipient Las Condoritas had a struggle at last year's competition, but their round 2 clash with the Hooting Hoskins was their closest game of that tournament at 26-5. In fact, it wasn't until extra time in the second half that the Hoskins only just scored their bonus point try. Las Condoritas struggled with their attack, but at times showed moments of brilliance in their play, whilst the Hooting Hoskins only missed coming second by a single kick. Needless to say, both of these teams will have something to prove today. When I spoke to the coaches ahead of the match, Tere was ready to go.
Are you confident about that matchup? That was your closest game last year, so do you think maybe this is a good place to start?
I think we are going to totally smash it.
Yeah?
This time. Yeah, I'm quite confident about what the guys are able to do now.
And of course, Nick was laser focused on the game as always.
Me and Mario have started an open relationship together. We really hope that chemistry is going to lead to some good results out on the field today.
This game was electric from the start. Las Condoritas, keen to show their training, attacked from the kickoff, getting close to the Hoskins try line when the ball was turned over. A Hoskins counterattack marched the ball back up the field, with Vicky commenting on the quiet from the two competitors.
You can cut the focus with a knife.
Cut the tension with a knife.
That's the one.
You could also cut the focus with that.
You got some good knife in there.
An early charge from Peach found the first try, and quickly followed with the first kick, making the score 7-0 to Nick. The Hooting Hoskins applied pressure from the restart, causing a quick turnover. They then rucked against no one, apparently, to get possession of the ball. A charge for the line by a Boom Boom was tackled, and the Condoritas were able to retake possession. A counterattack, spearheaded by the Captain Tails, tore back down the pitch, and I realised, is Tails Naruto running? I would love to see more of that in Rugby Union. Anyway, don't get distracted. Tails ran the ball, and a key pass put it across to a teammate who scored the first try for Las Condoritas. The kick was nice and central and slotted easily to make an even score at 7-all. Play restarted and the Hoskins were getting serious. They immediately attacked again, slipping past Las Condoritas' defences and passing to the captain Mario for a quick second try. The conversion this time, however, hit the post and bounced off.
You did it, I think.
Las Condoritas were not discouraged, however, and as the clock ran into extra time, Shadow ran the ball past the Hoskins defenders and equalised the score once again. The equal score didn't last long, as Shadow's boot gave him the extra 2 points and made it 14-12 to the Condoritas. It was extra time and the whistle could blow any second, but it was enough time for the Hoskins, who attacked again and secured try number 3.
No! Oh my god, f***ing extra time, that was long enough to do that.
The kick, however, became Nick's second in a row to bounce off the posts.
Damn it!
Oh, so close.
I'm loving that post today, though.
The whistle sounded as soon as the game restarted, making the score 17-14 at half-time to the Hooting Hoskins. With the start of the second half, the Hoskins attempted to put this game out of reach with a big push. Las Condoritas initially struggled, missing a number of tackles, but Vector was tackled on the left wing, allowing Las Condoritas to get the ball. They were tackled again, and a Boom Boom rushed for the try line, but another tackle stopped that attempt. Shadow began to run the ball away from danger, but he was super tackled. Las Condoritas tackled and regained control of the ball. With some well-timed passes and dodges, Las Condoritas took the ball across the field and put it down to retake the lead. Tere took the chance to evaluate her opponent.
You're unpredictable, you know.
That's called button mashing.
No, but I'll take unpredictable. That's
Never let them know my next move. Because I don't know my next move.
With the score at 21-17, the game restarted and a Hoskins attack was quickly stopped by a Condorita tackle. And then Eggman confused everyone by passing to himself whilst moonwalking?
What the f*** was that?
The ball was taken from Las Condoritas by a ruck, but then stolen back by a well-timed tackle. They found a gap in the Hoskins defence and scored their 4th try, securing the team's first ever bonus point in the ABK Six Nations.
Oh no! Oh my god, I did something really stupid there. I don't know. It was really close.
Attempting to increase their score further, Las Condoritas super tackled straight away and began another attack. But this time it was stopped by Peach. She passed to Mario, who found a gap and sprinted downfield. The ball was turned over by Tere, who began to attack again, but Nick regained the ball as the clock went into extra time. Eggman put the ball into touch for a line-out, but it was stolen by the Hoskins. The Hooting Hoskins attacked as the time was almost out. Either by genius or by accident, a little kick from Peach avoided a super tackle from Eggman, and Peach regained the ball and dodged another tackle. A pass to a teammate and onto Metal Sonic, who dodged a last-second tackle against him, and he put down the ball for the Hoskins' 4th try. Even a well-placed kick couldn't win the game for them here, but they had secured at least 1 bonus point for getting 4 tries. The full-time whistle blew, and Las Condoritas had shown they are back and mean business this year. The Hoskins, however, had to reckon with the fact that this was the 2nd game in a row that they lost by just 2 points. But they don't leave empty-handed, as they get the bonus point for 4 tries and the losing bonus point for coming within 7 points of the winner. The final score: Hooting Hoskins 24, Las Condoritas 26. Kongs vs Koopas.
Okay.
Our final game of round 1 is the first match for our new team, the Chaotic Kongs, as they compete with the Crushing Koopas. As this is a real-life sibling rivalry, it was only right that they had the first new rivalry trophy of 2026, the Family Flower. Not to be confused with the flower from last year. Last year we used it as a one-off trophy given to the team who beat the robots by the biggest margin. We used the same physical trophy for it, but it's fine. It's the Family Flower now, it's competed between the Kongs and the Koopas. Anyway, It's time for a sibling showdown. What will happen? Match preview. Now, I don't think any team could match the enthusiasm or energy of the Crushing Koopas, but some narrow losses in the first and second rounds last year meant they finished the tournament in 4th place. They were characterised in last year's tournament by 2 things: loving passing even when it wasn't necessary, and leading at half time but struggling in the second half. Will these problems persist? And how will they do against a brand new opponent? Alex has only played the game once before today, but in the warm-up friendlies he played the majority of the games.
He's told the team don't go bananas too early and don't be monkeying around, but he'll make sure that he wins the day.
What are your big hopes for today? Like, who are you worried about facing today?
Oh, we've got some newcomers today, and we're just going to have to see how they are. They're nothing compared to the Crushing Koopas, though. Crushing Koopas all the way. These newcomers better watch out.
The game started with some back and forth between the Kongs and the Koopas. A Kong attack was stopped, and the Crushing Koopas began to gradually make their way upfield. This included some of their classic passing, including a very strange bit where Eggman threw the ball directly backwards where there was 2 waiting teammates. That seems a bit narrow. Eventually, the ball found its way to Yoshi on the wings, who ran the ball in for the first try, but a difficult conversion kick.
Oh, around the edge. Fuck. No.
Vicky likes the challenge.
I didn't want it to go through anyway.
Good. Give
us a challenge.
Yeah.
Play restarted, and the Kongs began their attack, led by their captain DK, making only his 3rd ever ABK Six Nations appearance. The ball went wide to Waluigi on the wings. Try saying that when you're drunk. But a super tackle stole the ball back for the Koopas. The ball was passed centrally to Bowser Jr., but Wario knocked the ball free. Luckily for Vicky, it was scooped up by a Boom Boom, passed wide to Eggman, and he found a gap and took it downfield.
Go on, you lanky fuck.
Eggman ran almost the full length of the pitch, and he placed the ball down for try number 2.
Oh, look at you. Very nice. Really talented this one.
Straight down centre.
The Koopas kicked to restart, which was gathered in a bit of a sloppy way by the Kongs, but DK used a super run to create some options and pass onwards to keep the ball in their possession. The ball went wide to Wario waiting in the wings, and as he was consistent in doing for the Goon and Goombas, Wario ran the ball down the pitch and gave the chaotic Kongs their first try of the tournament right behind the posts. A straightforward conversion later, and the score was 12-7. The Kongs kicked to restart as the clock ticked into extra time, and a Koopa attack was stopped before it could begin by Wario headbutting Eggman in the gut. Some quick passing from the Kongs scored their 2nd try in a row, and their 2nd kick put them ahead. The Koopas made one more attempt at attacking, but it was halted by Wario as the half-time whistle blew. The half-time score was 14-12 to the newcomers. The second half kicked off with the Kongs facing down pressure from the Koopas. They managed to retain the ball, and despite some attempted tackles, they got it to Wario's safe hands, who put in his 2nd try of the game. We can't tell you the swear word Bowser Jr. muttered here, but we did have to tell his dad to have a word with him afterwards. With another kick, the score became 21-12 to the Kongs. The ball went to the Koopas, and this time it was the Kongs applying the pressure. A Boom Boom made a break, but was tackled and the ball was turned over. The Kongs began attacking again, but it was turned over by a super tackle, which was then met with another super tackle to give it back to the Kongs. A chip and chase by Shadow didn't get the intended bounce, but it was enough to secure try number 4 for the Kongs and the bonus point which comes with it. Despite a tough angle, the Kongs kept their 100% conversion rate. The score, 28-12. With now 4 unanswered tries against them, the Koopas had to find a way for... Oh, and he's been punched by DK and tackled. Well, what followed here was a number of attempted attacks, thwarted by super tackles from all sides. Yoshi, Boom Boom, Bowser Jr., all in a row. Eventually, the Koopas regained the ball and managed to run it up the left side, where Eggman got them their 3rd try. The kick went through the posts, making it 28-19. Still 9 points down, the Koopas needed something special as the clock ran into extra time. Unfortunately, Wario wasn't going to let them have it, finding a gap in their defence and heading straight for the Koopa try line. Even without his team, Wario is still proving to be a threat at the ABK Six Nations. DK finished the job, and a 5th kick of the match for the Kongs put the game to bed with a strong opening performance. The final whistle blew. The chaotic Kongs have arrived and have shown that they mean business. Meanwhile, the crushing Koopas will have to go and lick their wounds. Final score, Chaotic Kongs 35, Crushing Koopas 19. So, a new segment this year, we're doing the play of the round, a part of a game which proved decisive to its outcomes. It can be a try, a line out, a kick, a super tackle, anything that had a big impact on the game. In round 1, I want to point out 2 occasions of a good use of the kicking mechanic, something that doesn't really get used that much. So, you can score drop goals in this game, but the wind up on the drop kick is a little long unless you know you have space and time. But little chips like we saw used here are much more effective. First was Nick's kick near the end of his game, which undoubtedly contributed to his 4th try, and the other was Alex's chip and chase, although the bounce didn't quite go his way. It didn't really matter though, as his conversions so far have been flawless. And that brings us to the end of round 1, so let's look at the table. Like last year, I'll flash up the acronyms as well for those unfamiliar. The ranking on the table is decided first by your match points, then by the points difference in what you scored in the games, and then by who scored the most tries. In terms of match points, we have 3 teams that won with a try bonus point. After a dominant win against the Robots, the Boos topped the table based on having the best points difference. They're followed by the newcomers, the Chaotic Kongs, and then in 3rd place, fresh off their first ever Six Nations win, we have Las Condoritas, who narrowly defeated Hooting Hoskins. Speaking of the Hoskins, they are firmly in 4th, having gained a bonus point for scoring 4 tries, and a bonus point for being within 7 of Las Condoritas. In 5th and 6th, on 0 points, are Crushing Koopas and Rusty Robots. If every round has games like this, we're in for one heck of a tournament. This round had the next 3 exciting matches. We open with a rematch of the closest game from last year, followed by a chance for Robots or Koopas to get their first points. Hoskins vs Boos.
Super Mario.
This match is the 2nd rivalry trophy contest of this year. We have Nick's Hooting Hoskins against Jacques' Brave Boos, competing for the mushroom. It's Mario vs Bowser once again, the showdown of the ages. Match preview. This clash last year was the closest result of the whole tournament, ending in heartbreak for the Hoskins, who led at halftime by 7 and at one point were leading 26-14. The Brave Boos kept fighting, and in the end it was just 1 kick that separated the 2 teams at the final whistle.
Do you feel confident that you can take it the whole way this time? What training have you been doing to prepare for the Brave Boos?
Well, I'll be honest, out on that pitch, I'm wondering if bringing Peach in was a mistake. Obviously, with the situation with myself and Mario, Peach being there makes things very complicated for everyone.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna ditch Peach for the next battle.
Are you nervous about going up against the Hooting Hoskins?
We're a little nervous. He's been playing well. He's won his last match, so we're...
He didn't.
No, he didn't win his last match.
Start again.
We'll cut that bit. He lost his last match, so it's looking good for us. I'm positive about this one.
The game began with a strong attack from Jack and the Boos. He made it past a number of defenders before finally passing it off to Metal Sonic waiting on the wings, who got the first try. Being such a wide try, however, meant the kick proved a bit too tough, and the score was 5-0. Next, the Hoskins had a bit of a sloppy start to their counter-attack, but the ball found safe hands after safe hands, and before long they were up the pitch and putting in a try of their own right between the posts.
Yes.
And he's down. There we go.
This gave them a much better angle for the kick, and they made it without issue. 7-5, to the Hoskins. The Boos had another go at running directly at the Hoskins, but Waluigi was tackled and the ball was turned over. Luckily they tackled well and took it back. They sent the ball wide to Metal Sonic, who was stopped in his tracks, but not before handing off the ball to Peach to get the Boos the second try and first conversion, making the score 12-7. The game restarted and the Boos applied heavy pressure on the Hoskins with some successful tackles. They were initially unsuccessful and the Hoskins began marching to equalise the score before a tackle forced a turnover. Now the Boos had the ball again, and as had been proving successful, they got it to Metal Sonic in the left wing, who sprinted downfield. He panicked and passed, however, just before the line. This may in fact have been some grander plan after all, as after some more evading and passing, the ball ended up back with Metal Sonic, who then got his second try. This time, the kick was perfectly on target as well. Play recommenced with the announcement of extra time, and the two teams clashed, looking for some advantage before the break, but the whistle blew just as Waluigi was making a run. The score at half-time was Boos 19, Hoskins 7. The second half started with a bang as Bowser immediately super tackled Mario for the ball. In a stunning attack, the Boos ran the ball straight through the Hoskins defence and secured their bonus point try right underneath the posts. A kick from Peach and the Boos lead was extended to 19 points. The score 26-7. Now, the Hoskins had to dig deep as the game reset, and they came back in force with an attack. Amy created a gap and passed to Shadow, who ran the ball past the try line to give some hope to the Hooting Hoskins. Shadow kicked the extra points and the score was 26-14. A very familiar scoreline for these two teams, but this time it's reversed. Was history about to repeat itself? The Hoskins wasted no time in the reset and they attacked again, getting past the brave Boos defence and putting down their second try of the half. The kick, however, much like in their first match, found the post. The gap in the score, however, had shrunk to just 7 points, 26-19. The Boos defended better at the restart, but the momentum had now swung away from them to the Hoskins, who found their third try in a row, and this time they converted it too. The game was now level at 26-26, and with still just less than a minute on the clock. That might not seem like much, but this game has just seen 4 tries in only 70 seconds. The Boos came attacking, dodging 2 attempted super tackles in a row, and this time they were successful. They were slipping past Hoskin defenders with ease, and they managed to find the try line for their 5th, as the Hooting Hoskins were falling down at their feet.
Jump, jump. Everybody in the house go jump, jump.
Get him! Get him!
The Boos prepared for what would be a very important kick, and they didn't disappoint. Ahead once again, the score was 33-26 to the brave Boos. Crunch time again for the Hoskins. They responded with a quick attack, and Amy put the ball down for another try. However, when the kick came, it didn't quite make it. The Boos were still ahead by 2 points at 33-31. The game restarted with just 11 seconds left before extra time, and the Hoskins attacked again. They dodged a super tackle as the clock ticked into extra time, and a run from Shadow proved to be the last push they needed. The Hoskins scored their 5th try of the half, and put themselves ahead for the first time since very early in the game.
Can I let this time out until full time?
He'll just kick it for you automatically.
Oh shit! No!
That was your worst one.
I didn't kick it! It just kicked it for me!
Yeah, time's out if you're not careful.
Mamma mia.
Time was rapidly running out for the Boos, but they began to attack again. However, just as the Hoskins turned it over, the final whistle blew and the game came to a close. An incredibly close contest between two teams who really are rivals. It was an incredible second half from the Hoskins, who have won the mushroom for the first time. But the brave Boos still leave with both bonus points. Final score: Hooting Hoskins 36, Brave Boos 33. Robots vs Koopas. After such an exciting match, we go to the rematch of Rusty Robots and Crushing Koopas. Will the robots be inspired by the Hoskins to pull off a victory? Match preview. Whilst this match might be a close one, the Koopas will be seeing the opportunity here not only for their first win of 2026, but also to boost their points difference in case things get really close later on. They scored the second highest number of points against the robots last year, so more than anything they'll have that Gooning Goombas score of 61-0 in the back of their mind.
Those Chaotic Kongs really tested you.
Well, this is a new team, isn't it? They're hungry for it. They're hungry for the fight. It was just like bad luck. There was like sun in our eyes. There was sun in our eyes. There was just bad luck at the end.
Your next game is against the Rusty Robots. Obviously, they got beaten in their first game by the Brave Boos, so...
They will get beaten again. Oh yeah, they'll be beaten again by us. Because we owned them last time, I will own them this time. Oh yeah.
In quite an unexpected turn, the robots have Luigi as their captain this time, who Vicky has somewhat of a personal grudge against.
Out of all of them, who am I against? Freaking Luigi. He's going down!
Anyway, the game started with a strong attack by the Koopas, which was almost successful, but a try-line tackle by the robots gave them an opening to run the ball back upfield. The ball was taken out of play for a line-out, which was then handily kept by the robots, although after a tackle we ended up with our first scrum of the tournament instead. The scrum was easily won by the Koopas and they attacked again, although they lost the ball to the robots, who held on to it as best they could. Eventually, the Koopas reclaimed it and put down their first try, over halfway through the first half. Koopas 7, robots 0. The robots attacked again and found some gaps in the Koopa defense. A dash for the line by Luigi, Vicky's sworn enemy, was ended by a super tackle by Shadow. The Koopas then ran the ball back up the field and took their second score just before the start of extra time. The tight angle on the kick was too much for Eggman, who hit the posts, making the score 12-0. With the clock ticking down in the first half, the Koopas wasted no time. They put pressure on the robots, turned the ball over, and scored to close out the first half. The kick was through the posts and made the score 19-0 at the break. So, if the first half made it seem like the second might be competitive, I will be the bearer of bad news. It only took 19 seconds for Shadow to get the first try of the second half and secure the Crushing Koopas their bonus point, and the kick made the score 26-0. Just another 15 seconds and Eggman had planted Koopa try number 5. A kick put the score at 33-0. Try number 6 was a bit sloppy with a mass of Koopa and robot bodies trying to play the ball, but eventually Shadow got the job done.
Oh. Someone do it! Someone do it! Oh. Thank you, Shadow! Someone do it!
Don't go! He just runs in, takes it, and is like, yeah, my win.
Try 7 almost struggled at the line, but Eggman got it across, albeit missing the conversion. Koopas went on to score again with Yoshi twice, getting both kicks and surpassing their previous record of 53-0. The score was now 57-0. Could they find one more try to beat Ollie and the Gooning Goombas' current score record? The Koopas went wide once again to Eggman, who got the job done with the team's record-breaking 10th try, surpassing the record for biggest win. The kick was icing on the cake and the Crushing Koopas walk away with the biggest win so far in the ABK Six Nations of 64 points to nothing. Final score: Crushing Koopas 64, Rusty Robots 0. Kongs vs Condoritas.
Okay.
In the final game of the round, we have newcomers the Chaotic Kongs against the new and improved Las Condoritas. With the position of tournament front runner up for grabs, who will win? They are playing for the other new rivalry trophy this year, the Emerald. Match preview. With the Brave Boos loss, there are only two teams which could still entertain the possibility of getting a Grand Slam, which is the award for winning every single game. Both teams can find gaps and make opportunities, and now there's a trophy up for grabs, they'll especially give it their all. This is their first meeting, and it's likely to be a great contest.
Your next game is against Las Condoritas.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Are you confident?
as confident as I can be, you know. There's a tight game, first game of the tournament, so I'm expecting a tough challenge.
Yeah, we've been observing them, so
So what do you think? Are you confident?
I think their strategy is quite difficult to tackle, but we'll do.
The Kongs kicked off to Las Condoritas, who began running down the right wing to attack. A tackle put the ball out for a line out, which was won by Tere, although Alex tackled and rucked the ball back to his possession. The Kongs began counter-attacking with Wario running the ball, but a super tackle from Eggman reclaimed it. He ran it back, and Las Condoritas avoided tackles on their way to the try line. Yoshi had a clear run, but one last pass to a Boom Boom gave a bit more free space to guarantee the first score. A poor kick cost Las Condoritas a conversion, and the score was 5-0 to Tere. The Kongs came back with an attack, scanning Las Condoritas' defences for an opening. They eventually found one on the left wing, and ran the ball in to get their own first try. The Kongs, however, were able to convert and led the game, 7-5. Tails, not to be outdone, caught the ball from the kickoff and ran it the entire pitch to score single-handedly for Las Condoritas, which put them back ahead. This gave a nice central kick, which this time was converted without issue. The Kongs recollected from the kickoff and scrapped with Las Condoritas for possession. Las Condoritas' defensive line held for a few phases, but a spin and sprint attack from Waluigi passed the defender and cleared a path straight to the try line, although he decided to pass rather than put the ball down. The ball went to Wario, who was tackled on the try line, and it almost looked like Condorita defences might hold, until DK came in and put the Kongs back equal, and then his kick put the Kongs ahead. The whistle blew as the game restarted, signalling the end of the first half. The halftime score was Chaotic Kongs 14, Las Condoritas 12. An early rush in the second half was halted by Las Condoritas, but the Kongs kept the ball and they instead rushed the ball down the wing with Wario. He narrowly avoided multiple tackle attempts and he put the ball down to extend the Kong lead, extended even further by a well-timed kick. The score, 21-12. Las Condoritas attacked, although Tails' rush was tackled. The Kongs reclaimed the ball, but a poor pass let their opponents get it back again. A split-second dodge from Eggman avoided a super tackle, and a pass across to a Boom Boom gave Las Condoritas their third try. With the kick, it was now 21-19. Las Condoritas attacked again straight away from the restart, and a super tackle turned the ball over to Silver. A strange pass-heavy attack pattern followed, but you can't argue with the result.
Ah! No!
Oh my god!
Las Condoritas were ahead once again, 26-21. There was 40 seconds left on the clock, and the Chaotic Kongs were chasing the game. But in this game, 40 seconds is a long time for Las Condoritas to defend. The first few attempts were hindered, but a run from DK made its way to the line, putting the ball down just before a super tackle could take it away. The Kongs needed this kick to get back ahead, but the first member of the DK crew made it look simple. Kongs 28, Condoritas 26. With 10 seconds left on the clock, a scrum formed, and it was essential for both teams to win the ball. In this game, scrums are basically button mashing, so both Alex and Tere were mashing like their lives depended on it. Tails got the ball, but he was tackled. The two teams skirmished for the ball in a tight contest.
Oh. Everyone's just hitting each other.
Into each other.
Oh, there we go.
Waluigi pushed the ruck backwards for some reason, and then the final whistle blew, and the Kongs had won their second game in a row, as well as their second rivalry trophy in a row. Not bad from the newcomers. Las Condoritas are the third team to get 2 bonus points with a loss this tournament. A very close game. Final score, Chaotic Kongs 28, Las Condoritas 26. Play of the round. It's difficult not to give play of the round to the biggest ever comeback we've ever had by the Hooting Hoskins, and the speed of some of their tries makes it genuinely a fun game to watch. A special mention should be given to the second try from Las Condoritas, which went from the kickoff to an immediate score straight down the middle. At the end of round 2, let's update the table. The Rusty Robots continue to sit at the bottom of the table after a big loss to the Crushing Koopas, who now have 5 points. Next is a three-way tie in terms of match points, with Las Condoritas falling to 4th, the Hooting Hoskins climbing to 3rd, and the Brave Boos dropping down to 2nd. All of them have 7 match points. In first place, with 2 straight wins, is our newcomer, the embodiment of their name, the Chaotic Kongs. These next 3 clashes make up round 3. The Chaotic Kong Quest comes face to face with the equally chaotic Hooting Hoskins, and Las Condoritas take on the robots. But first, Koopas vs Boos. These 2 teams had an incredibly close clash in their opening game last year. They both need a win to keep their campaigns alive. Match preview. This game could be really close again this year. Both these teams have already beaten the robots, but both lost their other game. The Boos finished closer to the Hoskins, but the Koopas put 23 more points on the Rusty Robots. It's father versus son. It's gonna be a close game.
So this was your very first game last time. Only a 3-point difference.
It's definitely going to be a close one, but this time we're going to be on the right side of those points. Oh yeah.
Last year there was only a few points between us. This year we won a large margin. We want to be remembered.
Yeah, Bowser's got that ingrained in him.
Yep, he's ready to go.
The Koopas kicked off to the Boos, who began attacking head on, but a Boom Boom with the ball was tackled, and the ball was taken by the Koopas. The Koopas proceeded with some of their trademark passing, eventually getting the ball to Eggman, who ran down the left side of the pitch. 2 huge passes then took the ball to Yoshi on the right hand side, who had a clear run for the first try. Yoshi's kick was clean and the score was 7-0 to the Koopas. The Boos came attacking again, but a Yoshi tackle stole the ball. The Koopas began passing, but this time a Boo tackle interrupted Bowser Jr., and the Boos retook possession. A poor pass from Vector handed the ball back to the Koopas, who began to attack again. In a repeat of their first try, what started as an attack from Eggman went across the field to Yoshi, who reached out and scored try number 2 for the Koopas. A kick made the score 14-0. The Boos immediately did a super run from the kickoff, and they began making their way towards the Koopa try line. A pass out to Vector on the left hand side continued making progress, and one final pass got Jack his first try of the game with a gigantic leap from a Boom Boom.
That's a good Oh! That guy!
That was a leap.
That was a leap. He was like, you're not taking this away from me.
The try was converted and the score became 14-7. The Boos kicked to the Koopas, but a quick Boo tackle stole the ball straight away. The Boos began to attack, but a super tackle from Bowser Jr. reclaimed the ball, only to be immediately tackled by his dad. A quick pass to Vector and a super run, and the Boos scored again, albeit almost running out the back of the pitch.
Oh! No, don't run over it! Don't run over it!
That was close.
You had it, son, don't run over it!
Spatial awareness.
The kick brought the game even to 14-14. Play restarted and the 2 teams clashed, with the game going into extra time, with the ball changing hands a few times and tons of tackles. Eventually, the Koopas were back on the attack. They got the ball over to Eggman, who ran the ball for their 3rd try. Despite the tight angle, he even made the kick. The first half ended with the score at 21-14 to the Crushing Koopas. The second half began with some passing from the Koopas and some missed tackles from the Boos. Eggman was on the attack again, but fear of a tackle got him to pass, and then another pass put the ball wide to a Boom Boom, who scored the try. It made it a tight angle for Vicky, and this time the angle was a bit too tough. The score was 26-14. The game restarted and the Koopas tackled the Boos for possession of the ball. The Boos tried but were powerless to stop the Koopa march, and they scored their 5th try right in the centre. The kick made the score 33-14. After the kick, the Boos' attack attempt was tackled, and the Koopas came again, although this time Shadow was tackled by a Boom Boom, and the Boos got the ball. The Boos' next attack was one that succeeded, and they ran the ball all the way to their third try and third conversion. The Boos kicked off to the Koopas, and Eggman ran the ball, although he was tackled by the Boos. A great run by Daisy made progress for Jack, and then a pass to Peach got their crucial 4th bonus try. The kick was a wide angle, and despite a good effort it hit the post. So the score now was 33-26, just a 7-point difference. The game restarted and the Boos needed one more try at least as extra time began. The Koopas made an attempt at the Boo try line but were tackled, and then the Boos began running the ball back downfield. Peach ran the ball down the field, dodging one tackle but then being tackled right on the line. Jack pressed A for the try, but he was just a little bit too far away, and Peach passed it instead. The Koopas turned the ball over, and the final whistle blew. What a nail-biter of a finish. These two teams both threw everything at this one, and it's another incredibly close result. The Koopas have won their second game in a row, whilst once again the Boos are on the wrong side of a tight contest. Final score: Crushing Koopas 33, Brave Boos 26. Hoskins vs Kongs.
Super Mario.
Okay.
The tournament leader goes head to head with a team that's not far behind. This could be a championship defining game. It's Nick and the Hooting Hoskins versus Alex and the Chaotic Kongs. Match preview. Whilst the Hooting Hoskins have proven that they can beat most opponents at this point, the Chaotic Kongs are the only team that can still win the Grand Slam, so they'll need to win here if they want to achieve it. Nick previously had a close loss against Ollie, who at the time was the frontrunner of that competition, but can he go all the way and beat the frontrunner this time?
So your next game is against the Hooting Hoskins?
He's been a dark horse so far. I think it's going to be another tight game. Yeah.
You've taken the mushroom for the first time.
I've taken
How
the
do you
mushrooms.
feel?
Oh, it's a great feeling. Like we put all the work in. You know, initially there was obviously a bit of drama because Peach ended up on the opposing team.
Yeah.
That was difficult for Mario. And of course, we still need to work on our conversions. I've actually recently I saw someone advertising conversion therapy, so
Right.
I booked Mario into that. But unfortunately, he came back and he's no longer interested in me as a romantic partner. So we got to work on that off the pitch, I guess. But let's hope that the training has made a difference.
The game started with the Hoskins kicking off to the Kongs and applying heavy pressure to try and get the ball for themselves. Alex was tackled on the wing and the ball went out for a line-out. The line-out was won by Nick and the Hoskins began attacking, only to be tackled right by the Kong try line and the ball was turned over. The Kongs began marching upfield with the ball towards the Hoskins try line. Meanwhile, the audience were commenting on Nick.
Nick gets quite nasty, you know.
She can sense the anger.
Yeah.
He's got his head in the game.
That's why he's doing quiet, you know.
It's that cold anger. He's just like in focus.
I just need all my concentration.
And that's making you giggle probably.
The Kongs converted their try and the score was 7-0. The game restarted and the Hoskins began pushing their way upfield until it was suddenly halted by a Kong super tackle. The Kongs ran the ball back towards the Hoskins end of the pitch, but a poor pass gave the ball back to Nick's side.
Oh, dang it.
The Kongs quickly stole the ball back and with a few passes gave it to Waluigi, who dodged a tackle and ran the ball in for a try. A quick attempt at the conversion, however, became the first kick that Alex has missed all tournament. The game restarted as extra time began, and the Kongs attempted to steal the ball, eventually knocking it loose with Waluigi. The Kongs then rucked against no one, and they retook possession of the ball. Shadow got the ball and began running towards the try line, and the whistle blew.
Damn it!
Half-time score: 12-0 to the Chaotic Kongs. The second half started with an inspiring pep talk coming from Vicky.
Go Mario.
Go on, Nick. Get some points. You got this.
I'll do it.
You know that comment? Oh, I never knew to go faster. Oh, I never knew to get some points. Thank you, Vicky, for telling me how to get points.
You did it! You did it! It was all on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should
So
try.
that was Nick.
Yes, you're right. I shall
I
get
shall
some.
get some points.
Oh! Finally!
Look at you.
A conversion.
Beautiful, nicely done.
I'm really impressed.
I'd recommend keep getting more points.
Oh, okay, that's a good tactic actually.
It was 12-7 and the game restarted. Hoskins began attacking, but it was cut short by a super tackle from DK. The ball was handed off to Wario, who began stomping his way to the try line, when suddenly...
That was so unexpected, Nick. Just like you.
Just stole it back at the last minute.
The Hoskins then ran the ball up the entire field, passing and evading, and they put in their second try in a row. They kicked their second conversion, and now they were ahead, 14-12. Mario kicked to restart, and the Kongs fought to keep hold of the ball. Waluigi ran the ball around to the sides and passed it off to Wario. This time, the Hoskins super tackle didn't stop him, and he put the Kongs back ahead. In an unusual display for the Kongs, they missed their second kick in a row, with the ball hitting the post, and the score was 17-14. The game restarted again with just 3 points in it. The Hoskins tried going wide, but they were super tackled by the Kongs. The Kongs began taking the ball upfield, slipping past the Hoskins defence, and it looked like they might just put the game out of reach as the clock ticked into extra time. Suddenly, a Hoskins tackle allowed them to retake the ball, and Nick had one last pep talk from Vicky.
Remember you are.
Remember who you are!
Oh,
Did you remember? It's fine. Right. You heard the best.
oh, damn it!
Alex, Becky is f***ing you up.
Nick's third try narrowly put him ahead, and he converted the last try. The whistle blew and the game came to an end. It was an incredibly close game with some great attacking and defending, even if one of the players needed to be reminded that to win you need to score points. But, you know, they took that message to heart and they pulled it off. With this result, there are no longer any teams that can win the Grand Slam. The ABK Six Nations has been blown wide open. Final score: Hooting Hoskins 21, Chaotic Kongs 17. Condoritas vs Robots. To wrap up round 3, we have what could be another interesting game. It's Las Condoritas and Rusty Robots. Last time these two teams met, they were both seeking their first points, but this time the table looks very different. Match preview. Tere and Las Condoritas are the only opponents which the Robots beat last year, which was a 31-0 defeat. However, so far in the first 2 rounds, we've seen Las Condoritas beat the Hooting Hoskins and have a very close game with the Chaotic Kongs. Now the Kongs have lost their first game, and there's an opportunity for a new tournament frontrunner to emerge.
Do you feel confident going into this third game?
Yeah, I think we still need to be really, energetic and stuff, enthusiastic,
Yeah.
to make sure that we win.
Unlike the Robots' last game with the Koopas, this game was one-sided from the kickoff. The Robots had a go at attacking, but the ball was turned over, and after some passing from Las Condoritas, they had their first score from their captain Tails. He kicked through the posts, and the score was 7-0. The Robots had the ball, but it was quickly turned over after a tackle from a Boom Boom, and the second try followed not long after, again from Tails, who kicked the ball through the posts once again. 14-0. A third try came just before the first minute was gone, and Tails had his hat-trick. With the kick, it was 21-0. A fourth followed from Shadow, a fifth from a Boom Boom, and a sixth from Tails, and a seventh from another Boom Boom. And amongst these, there was only one missed conversion.
Oh, that was really stupid.
At this point, I should emphasise, this is still the first half. The whistle sounded for half time and the score was already 47-0 to Las Condoritas. The second half was a slower pace of tries being scored, but they were still all just in one direction. The question now was if they would beat the 64-0 record, or even maybe reach triple figures. An 8th try came from Shadow, a 9th from Silver, and a 10th from Boom Boom, where they had already surpassed the Crushing Koopas score from round 2. They weren't stopping there, they had one more try in them, and an 11th try came from a boom boom to round out the game. In this half, all 4 tries were converted. The robots were left in the dust, and when the final whistle sounded, it had been one of the most one-sided games we've ever seen. Well, since Vicky last round. The robots have well and truly malfunctioned here, and Las Condoritas have won a huge victory. Now it's no longer a question of whether the robots can win, it's a question of who will get the biggest score against them. Final score: Las Condoritas 75, Rusty Robots 0. Play of the round. So, there's a few things to choose from this round. I think both teams in the first game played incredibly well, and that was a really tight contest. Las Condoritas had their record-breaking win, but I think the play of the round this time was Vicky reminding Nick that to win at this game, you have to score points, and then he did. Absolute cinema. With another round over, let's update the table. Las Condoritas have soared to the top spot with their win against the robots, with 12 match points. The Chaotic Kongs have held on to second thanks to their losing bonus point, but the Hooting Hoskins are now hot on their heels in third. The Crushing Koopas have risen from 5th to 4th following their win against the Brave Boos, who now sit in 5th. The Rusty Robots are still last and would need a miracle not to stay there. With only 3 points separating 1st and 5th place at the end of the middle round of the tournament, anything can happen. In round 4 we have Condoritas vs Boos, and the Kongs will have their chance to score big against the robots. But first, Koopas vs Hoskins.
Super Mario.
Vicky and Nick will be competing for the ABK Jiggy, which is the flagship match of the tournament. With our 2 main channel contributors going head to head, who will take the Jiggy home this year? Match preview. A close first half last year was followed by one of the most one-sided second halves of the whole tournament. The Koopas lost control and ended up suffering what is still their worst ever defeat at the hands of Nick and the Hooting Hoskins, with a score of 43-12. Both teams are firing on all cylinders after their third round wins. This should be a close match.
Your next game is a big one for you. It is the Jiggy, the ABK Jiggy. What have you been doing to prepare for it this time?
Psyching Nick out, just getting in his head, getting in his play, like he is not gonna beat me again. Jack's just felt it, and Nick's about to feel it. Yeah!
Close game again, but you won. A win's a win.
A win's a win. Ecstatic, yeah.
You were the conversion king this time.
Yeah. I just wish Mario would speak to me again, but it seems like the therapy did go well, so...
The ABK Jiggy.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Scared about this one.
The main rivalries. Last time, you secured it pretty handily.
Okay.
It was, I think, 43-12.
I've been watching Vicky's performance, though, as a coach, and very good intuition. Like, the team clearly has a good bond. They've done very well so far, so obviously I'm worried, but, you know, we've worked hard as a team.
The Koopas kicked off to the Hoskins, who had a suspiciously easy time walking the ball in for an early lead.
What the f***? Where are you guys? Yes! Oh no! Not that guy!
The kick was a tight angle and narrowly missed, making the score 5-0. The Hoskins kicked to restart and the Koopas kinda just... watched.
Oh yeah! Get out! Someone f***ing get it! Really? What the f***?
They love doing that.
Eventually they did collect the ball and began their attack, but they were tackled and the Hoskins stole the ball. A weak Koopa defence flailed as the Hoskins walked in their second try from the captain Mario. He kicked the conversion and it made the score 12-0. The kickoff once again was a struggle for the Koopas, but this time the counterattack was stronger. The Hoskins missed a super tackle and the Koopas made their way down the left-hand side, and with a few passes they got their own first try. This one was nice and central and was easily converted by Shadow. 12-7. The game kicked off again and this time the Koopas didn't hesitate. They super tackled straight away, stole the ball and attacked. The Hoskins managed to tackle and ruck the ball back into their possession, and for a while they had a good go at running it downfield, but a super tackle from Shadow stopped them in their tracks. A Koopa attack met some strong Hoskins defence, but little by little the Koopas made their way upfield, until a pass to Bowser Jr. secured them their second try. A kick put the Koopas ahead just ahead of the halftime whistle. Halftime score, 14-12 to the Koopas. The second half began, and once again the Koopas struggled with catching the ball.
Someone catch it. Someone catch it. Honestly, guys, someone freaking catch it.
The Hoskins tackled and stole possession, and after battling some Koopa defenders, they scored their third try. With the kick, the score was now 19-14, and the Hoskins were back ahead. There was a big improvement in the restart as the Koopas actually caught the ball, and then they pushed their way upfield, passing the ball and avoiding tackles to score their own third try with Yoshi. Yoshi's boot made the score 21-19. The Hoskins began attacking once again, and despite passing to avoid a super tackle, another tackle was made and possession was turned over. Bowser Jr. found a gap and rushed the ball in, getting the Koopas their bonus point try. The kick, however, bounced off the post. 26-19. Crunch time for both teams. A Hoskin attack was stopped and the ball went out for a line out. Neither team caught it, but Yoshi collected for the Koopas and passed along the line to where it reached Eggman. Daisy super tackled Eggman and the Hoskins retook the ball, but a poor pass gave the ball back to the Koopas. The ball went out for another line out, and this time the Hoskins stole it from the Koopas. The Hoskins attacked, but Knuckles was tackled. The Koopas got the ball back, and a run from Yoshi found their fifth try. The kick missed, but the Koopa lead was extended to 12. The final whistle sounded as the game kicked off again, and the Koopas had pulled it off. They had their biggest loss ever to Nick last year, but this time they held on and won a very competitive game. The Crushing Koopas have won the ABK Jiggy and taken away the full 5 points. Final score, Crushing Koopas 31, Hooting Hoskins 19. Condoritas vs Booze. Also a 4th round match last year, Tere and Jacques go head to head in this must-win match. Match preview. Las Condoritas have had a much stronger tournament up to now, and the Brave Boos have been incredibly unlucky, especially with their last game against the Koopas. Last time this game had an incredibly close first half, ending just 5-0 to the Boos, before they ended up winning 24-0 in the end. What will happen this time?
What we need to be careful with is the fact that Tails sometimes get too much into his head. So I think he needs to, he needs to avoid being overconfident.
Does he have an ego?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's big.
Next game is the Brave Boos. What do you think of them this year? Are you confident?
We're winning.
Yeah?
Yeah, we are going there, and we own that game already.
Are you confident going into this game? Do you think you can win?
We're nervous. There's going to be a bit of a swap up, I think, in the team. We were reliant on the girls last time, and Peach has let us down bad.
Yeah.
I think we'll keep Daisy. She's done all right, but I think we need a few swap outs.
This game had a false start as one of the teams accidentally recruited another team captain.
Who are you, and what are you doing here?
But it was quickly fixed and they had another go. The game started for real and a Boo attack was halted by a Condorita tackle. Tails picked up the ball and passed off to Silver, and the Condoritas were making progress towards the Boo try line. A last minute tackle prevented a try, but the Boos panicked and threw the ball out behind the try area, which led to a scrum right in front of the Boo try line. Las Condoritas won the scrum and Tails ran the ball in for their first try. The kick went wide and the score was 5-0. The game restarted and the Boos began attacking, getting the ball to Daisy on the left hand side. A tackle knocked the ball free and it ended up out for a line out. The Boos won the line out and passed to Vector, but a Tails super tackle got the ball back for Las Condoritas. Las Condoritas ran the ball down the pitch, passing and dodging tackles, and a pass to Tails got the job done on their second try. This time the conversion went through and the score was 12-0. Bowser caught the ball on restart and ran directly at Las Condoritas, avoiding the first few tackles, but he was eventually caught and handed off the ball to Daisy on the wing. Eggman super tackled for the ball, and it was back with Las Condoritas, who headed back towards the boo end of the pitch. Jack defended well, but Tere found a gap and scored try number 3. The kick was done well and the score was 19-0. A Bowser run was ended before it could start by Silver, and Las Condoritas secured their bonus point try before half time. The first half ended and the score was 26-0 to Las Condoritas. The boos needed stuffing to get them going in the second half. Las Condoritas had a sloppy take of the ball from the kickoff, and the boos were able to apply pressure. The two sides fought for possession, but eventually Wario, like the reliable player he's proven to be, ran the ball in to put some points on the board for the boos. The kick made the score 26-7. Was this the start of the comeback? Las Condoritas responded immediately with a run from Silver, dodging multiple boo players and putting down their 5th try. Silver kicked and made the score 33-7. The boos kept this blow for blow going with another attack ending in another try from a Boom Boom. The conversion was scored and it was 33-14. It looked for a moment like Tere was going to keep the tit for tat going as she attacked again, but this time Daisy super tackled to retake the ball. However, Las Condoritas had their own super tackle and stole back possession right on the try line. But still, they couldn't get the score as Jack found a way to snatch the ball back. The boos headed downfield and Jack thought he was out of danger.
Oh,
you're alone now.
Get moving, moving.
Oh, fuck.
Eggman found a gap, and despite some great defending from the boos, Las Condoritas found their 6th try with Silver. The conversion was missed, but Tere was now ahead, 38-14. In the final moments of the game, the boos found one more gap.
Get away from me!
The Boom Boom ran the ball in and kicked through the posts. The final whistle blew and brought the game to an end. The Brave Boos were unlucky at times, but Las Condoritas soared above them today, taking away the key points for winning plus the try bonus. Bowser will be licking his wounds as another game just didn't go his way. Final score: Las Condoritas 38, Brave Boos 21. Kongs vs Robots.
Okay.
It's the Kongs taking on the Robots, or at this point do we just say taking down? The Robots have struggled and the Kongs will be looking to take home a big win. Match preview. So we decided this year to keep Robots at the medium, quote, hard difficulty for a second year, and looking back, maybe this was a mistake. If they ever need to come back, which I kind of hope they don't, we'll put them up to very hard instead. Anyway, let's watch the DK crew do a demolition.
What a close game.
It was chaotic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were calling you king of conversions, but...
The chaotic Kongs being the kings of conversions. What sort of...
Alliteration.
What sort of alliteration is that? Some sort of colossal catastrophe it turned into. But Nick pulled up a good game. Maybe we got a bit cocky, I don't know. But yeah, disappointed. But we go again, and we're looking good for the championship.
The game started pretty much as you'd expect. It took just 13 seconds for DK and the Kongs to turn the ball over and run in their first try past the Robots. The kick made the score 7-0. Another try followed in just 16 more seconds. A third after 13 more seconds. The score was 21-0. A fourth try looked like it was there, but this time the Robots were able to defend and turn the ball over. The Kongs kept the pressure up, but the Robots kept defending, and eventually Bowser was able to get free and begin running downfield. Not that it lasted very long, as a super tackle ended the run. This time the Kongs went the whole way and got their bonus point try with 20 seconds still left in the first half. The Robots put up a strong resistance when the game restarted and held off to half time without conceding any more points. The whistle was sweet relief on a bruising first half. The second half was a better display from the Robots. They put a lot of pressure on in the beginning and began making their way towards the Kong try line. The Kongs defended well, and after winning a scrum, they got the ball to Shadow, who immediately ran the ball away from danger and secured try number 5. The 6th try immediately followed from a quick attack, and with all kicks on target, the score was 42-0 to the Kongs. The robots then tried again with some resistance, with some tackles, and even Yoshi deciding just to try going home with the ball, but it ended up being a line out. The Kongs won the line out, but even then they struggled to make progress on the field. Eventually DK got the job done with a 7th try and 7th conversion. Shortly after the restart, the final whistle blew and the Kongs walked away with 5 points, but at times some tough robot resistance. This is a big win and sets the Kongs up well ahead of the final round. Final score: Chaotic Kongs 49, Rusty Robots 0. Play of the round. There were some great back and forths this round, especially the period of blow for blow tries in the second half of Condoritas vs Booze. But the Chaotic Kongs scoring 3 tries in just 45 seconds was a really fast start to that game. Yoshi running in try number 5 for the Koopas was also a key moment this round as it secured their win. As we end the penultimate round, let's take a look at how things stand. The Rusty Robots remain on 0 points and 0 points scored. The Brave Boos are still in 5th following their 3rd loss of the tournament. With her win, Vicky and the Crushing Koopas have ended up in 3rd, ahead of Nick and the Hooting Hoskins, who have dropped down to 4th. Just 1 point ahead of Vicky are Alex and the Chaotic Kongs, who remain in 2nd, just behind Las Condoritas, who are the frontrunners by a single point. There are 3 teams that can win as we head into the final round. Who will be the 2026 ABK Six Nations champion? If Las Condoritas win against the Crushing Koopas, they are likely to win the entire tournament. If they win with a bonus point, they're guaranteed it. The Chaotic Kongs need Tere and Las Condoritas to lose to increase their own chances. But they also need a bonus point win, as if they only get 4 points and the Crushing Koopas get 5 points, then the Koopas might beat them on points difference. The Crushing Koopas will be hoping that the Brave Boos can beat the Chaotic Kongs, as it gives them the best chance of winning. Their game against Tere is first though, and it's a must win. Nick and the Hooting Hoskins are sadly unable to win the tournament from their position in 4th, but if both Alex and Vicky lose, and they get a really big win against the robots, then they could still snag 2nd. Jack and the Brave Boos will want Nick to lose to the Rusty Robots to give him a chance at 4th rather than 5th, but given the robot record, it's not looking likely. It's now time to see who will win the 2026 ABK Six Nations. It's time for... We're finally here. These are the last games of the tournament. Nick gets his opportunity to score big against the robots, and Jack and the Boos face down Alex and the Kongs. But first we have a hugely consequential match. Koopas vs Condoritas. This game began round 5 in 2025, and now it begins round 5 in 2026. Competing for the feather for a 2nd time, it's Vicky vs Tere. Match preview. The environment for this match could not be more different from last year. In 2025 it was 2 teams at the bottom of the table trying to avoid the wooden spoon, the award given to last place. This time it's 2 teams that could both win the whole tournament. Las Condoritas have turned their team around this year, and if they win here they've won the whole tournament. But the Koopas can also still win, and they'll pursue that with everything they've got. Last time the score was 43-5 to the Koopas, but I think it will be far closer today.
The stakes are high, we're getting pretty close, but we're gonna win that feather. We won it last year, we're gonna win it this year. Go Crushing Koopas!
So you're playing for the feather. Last time the Koopas took it. Do you feel confident that you can steal it this time?
Well, we always want to think best of it, but we don't know. We need to just, be in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, be in the moment.
The match began with a kickoff to tails, and Las Condoritas immediately started tearing through the Koopa defence. Vicky and the Koopas tried to tackle, but it wasn't long until Las Condoritas put in their first try. The kick made the score 7-0. The game restarted, and this time the Koopas were attacking, dodging a super tackle and making their way upfield. Yoshi was tackled on the wing and the ball was taken out for a line-out. The line-out was won by Las Condoritas, but a quick tackle made an opening for the Koopas to take it back, and they ran the ball across the line and they were tackled! The two teams skirmished for the ball, but eventually Tere got it free and away from danger. Eggman ran the ball downfield, dodging Koopa tackles, and a pass to Silver secured the second try for Las Condoritas. They basically took the ball from one end of the field all the way to the other. The conversion, however, went sideways. It was 12-0 and the game restarted. The Koopas ran the ball towards the Condorita try line once again, and it looked like another tackle might stop them on the line. This time, however, the Koopas kept on fighting, stole the ball back from Tere, and scored their first try.
No! Seriously, I'm on the freaking line! Just score! Yes! Oh my god! Just score! They're on the line! Honestly, guys, what are you doing? Just score!
They kicked the conversion and the score was 12-7. Vicky kicked off to Las Condoritas, who began attacking. A super tackle from Metal Sonic turned the ball over, and the Koopas took the ball. But then a tail super tackle stole it right back. Las Condoritas began heading toward the Koopa try line, but they were stopped by the halftime whistle. The halftime score was 12-7 to Las Condoritas. Just one more half stood between them and championship glory. The second half began with the Koopas getting the ball and doing their trademark passing, getting the ball up to Shadow, who made a dash for the line and brought the two teams level. Shadow then kicked the conversion and the Koopas were ahead for the first time this game at 14-12. Las Condoritas, not to be outdone, began pushing their way upfield, but a run from Tails was halted by a point-blank range super tackle. The Koopas tried to run, but a tackle stopped Yoshi. Vicky held onto the ball and had more success this time, getting past Condorita defenders and an attempted Eggman super tackle. The ball went across the field to the right wing, where Yoshi was tackled again, but once again Koopas kept possession and fought onwards. Las Condoritas turned the ball over and began running, but Bowser Jr. super tackled and got the ball back. A pass to Shadow and a quick run put the Koopas even further ahead with try number 3. The kick made the score 21-12. Las Condoritas needed something big if they wanted to win. They led a strong attack, but a Boom Boom super tackle stole the ball, only for a Condorita Boom Boom to do the same thing to them. The Koopas defended their line well and turned the ball over, but Silver super tackled to get the ball for Las Condoritas once again. He slipped through and gave hope to Las Condoritas with their third try. The kick put Las Condoritas back within 2 points of the Crushing Koopas. One more try for either team would be huge. The game began and the Koopas caught the ball. They did one more round of their famous passing, weaving up and down the field to create space. Metal Sonic slid through a gap with a run but was tackled, but not before handing the ball to Yoshi, who had a clear run. Yoshi ran for the line to put the bonus try in for the Crushing Koopas when suddenly, full time! We couldn't believe it either.
I think that's it.
I don't think that counted. I don't think that. No, that try didn't count.
Oh my god!
Oh, that is.
It did not count it.
It did not count it.
Yeah, Tere still gets to lose his bonus point, but Vicky doesn't get the bonus point.
Yeah, because that didn't count.
So that would have been your fourth try, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Blimey, that conversion would have made the difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the first time this tournament that the final whistle has harshly denied a try to a team. But what a close game for both Las Condoritas and Crushing Koopas. Las Condoritas have been denied their fairy tale tournament of going from last to first, but they've still shown an incredible improvement, whilst Crushing Koopas have won their 4th game in a row. We'll have to see whether they've done enough to win the ABK Six Nations, but the Koopas will be happy with pulling off a win and retaining the feather. Final score: Crushing Koopas 21, Las Condoritas 19.
Yeah, we're gutted, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fine. We learned a lot from last year, and I think we improved this year. So let's go for next year.
Hoskins vs Robots.
Super Mario.
Game 2 of the final round sees the Hooting Hoskins against the Rusty Robots. The Robots haven't scored a single point so far, Can the Hoskins keep it this way? Match preview. This game was the opening game for Nick last year, and he handily secured himself a bonus point win in the very first round. Now, at the end of the second tournament, can Nick go even further? He scored 8 tries last time to win 46-7, but he only converted 3. The score to beat is 75-0.
Tough result.
Yeah, tough game.
I mean, the jiggy game is a big game every tournament.
Every year. For the last 30 years, yeah.
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 How do you feel?
Gutting. Very gutting. I think the team worked hard. There was, even though the score itself wasn't that close, I feel like we were close in our styles and our play. But you know, Vicky leads a very good team. I'll take it in our stride.
Yeah.
The better team won.
Your final game of the tournament then is against the Robots. Obviously,
I'm going to whoop them into next year.
Is this going to be some catharsis? Is this going to be some therapy for the team?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and the tournament will win.
Yeah, please.
This game was the definition of Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby. Hooting Hoskins took no prisoners. They kicked off to the Robots, tackled, passed, scored, converted. 7-0. Again, kicked to the Robots, tackled, passed, scored. This time they learned from the Kongs to get it as central as possible too. So again, converted. The pattern repeated, with a third try from Captain Mario. The Robots rampaged a bit against Nick, but it didn't stop a fourth try coming from Vector, and then a fifth from Daisy, which rounded out the first half. All converted. The halftime score was 35-0. The question is, just how far will the Hooting Hoskins go? The second half repeated much of the first. A sixth try came from Eggman, a seventh from a Boom Boom, an eighth from another Boom Boom, a ninth from Mario, and a 10th from Eggman. All converted. One more converted try and it's a new record. Nick dug deep and remembered some key advice.
Show them who you are!
Yes! Try number 11. It was converted and Nick went beyond Tere's record. He pushed for try number 12, but it was stopped by the final whistle. I think it was clear it was never going to be a close game, but not even I expected the record for biggest score to be broken 3 times this tournament. Once by Vicky, again by Tere, and now a third time by Nick. Nick finishes the tournament with 16 match points. He'll come third if Alex loses the final match. Final score, Hooting Hoskins 77, Rusty Robots 0.
Any final reflections on the tournament?
I'd like to thank everyone who worked so hard in my team and all the other coaches and all the other teams. It's been a brilliant game. So glad we got to hash this out. And I look forward to what the future brings.
Boos versus Kongs.
Okay.
It's the final game of the tournament with the trophy on the line for Alex. Can David's Boos take down Goliath's Kongs? Match preview. The Boos have struggled today, but they're still a formidable team. They're the only side to score 3 tries against the Goon and Goombas, and they ended their last tournament with an upset when they beat the Hoskins 28-26. The Kongs, on the other hand, just need to win and they've won the whole thing. A draw, even a draw with a bonus for 4 tries, simply wouldn't be enough.
We may be at the bottom here, but I think we need to go out with honour.
Your final game is against Jack and the Brave Boos. Are you feeling confident?
Yeah, I thought, I am actually. But obviously very conscious that he's maybe, he's a bit of a dark horse. I always thought that throughout the game. So, yeah, we just do our best, really.
The game started with the Boos kicking off to the Kongs. The Kongs passed the ball to avoid some tackles and began making their way upfield, until tackles from Bowser and Eggman allowed the Boos to steal possession. The Boos were quickly tackled and the Kongs retook the ball, continuing their way upfield. A pass out wide to Waluigi was enough for the Kongs to take the first score.
Oh, you fool!
The kick was on target and the Kongs were ahead 7-0. The Boos got the ball from the kickoff, but they were quickly tackled by the Kongs and they rucked to get the ball. DK tried to run but was tackled by Blaze, and the Boos got the ball back. Daisy began her attack, but a super tackle turned the ball back to the Kongs. It was really blow for blow. The Boos defended well against the Kongs, who made a long pass to Waluigi on the wings, but he was halted. The Boos were tackling, but the Kongs were keeping possession. There was another attempt by Waluigi, but he put his foot into touch for a line-out. The Boos stole the line-out, but a quick Kong tackle stole the ball, and this time they made quick progress to score their second try. Wario's kick was converted, and the Kongs' lead was extended to 14. The kickoff to the Boos was once again interrupted by a quick Kong tackle. Alex got the ball to DK, and the team captain ran around the outside of the Boos to plant a quick third try for the Kongs. Being right on the edge though meant the kick was just too tough. The game restarted with extra time in the first half. The Boos had a good run with Eggman, but a super tackle stopped him in his tracks. The Kongs began moving to attack, but the whistle blew, ending an eventful first half. Half-time score, 19-0 to the Chaotic Kongs. The second half didn't start with much hope for the Boos. An attempted run from Bowser was quickly halted by Shadow, and the Kongs stole possession. The Boos did their best to hold off Alex, but he found his crucial fourth try with a boom boom. The conversion made the score 26-0. The game restarted, and the Kongs deepened the Boos' woes with a fifth try straight from the kickoff. With another conversion, it was 33-0. The Boos fought hard at the restart but struggled to get any traction. The Kongs were relentless and scored their sixth try with Waluigi, running through the centre of a group of Boos. 40-0. The Boos dug deep and kept fighting, and finally they found their opening. Blaze ran the ball down the left-hand side. With less than 30 seconds left in the tournament, the Boos scored their first try. It was a difficult conversion, but they managed it. 47. Whilst it may have been too late to change the outcome, the Boos kept battling. They forced the ball for a line-out, which they won, and they managed to push their way through to a second try. This kick was central and easily converted. The game restarted with the beginning of extra time, and Bowser went for a quick super tackle, but he missed. The two teams clashed, but Shadow found his way around the outside of the Boos. He was making his way to the Boo line when the final whistle sounded, bringing the match and the tournament to a close. It was a dominant display from the Chaotic Kongs, almost matching the same number of tries that they scored against the Rusty Robots. The Boos fought valiantly, but a few quick tries at the beginning of the second half put the game far out of their reach. Alex had to win this game, and he's managed it. What a performance to end on. Final score, Brave Boos 14, Chaotic Kongs 40.
Not good. Disappointing. We had dropped down since last year. These things happen. Maybe we made a few mistakes. I think we were focusing too much on tackles and not speed. But we've enjoyed ourselves. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
We've eaten, we drank, and we've lost.
Play of the round. So with this being the final round, that means this is the final play of the round. The Kongs had a great win, the Hoskins set a new record, but the play of the round goes to the crushing Koopas. Down by 12 and struggling on the try line, they pulled it back to win their fourth game in a row. This super tackle here against Las Condoritas was critical. We've reached the end of our tournament, so it's time for the final results. In 6th place, and the recipient of the wooden spoon, is the Rusty Robots. In 5th place is Jack and the Brave Boos. In 4th, taking home the mushroom, is Nick with the Hooting Hoskins. In 3rd, with the bronze medal, is Tere and Las Condoritas. In 2nd place, with the silver medal, winning the feather again, and for the first time taking home the ABK Jiggy, is Vicky and the Crushing Koopas. In 1st place, winning the family flower, the emerald, and taking home the actual real-life trophy, is Alex and the Chaotic Kongs. What a performance from a first-timer. So, for one last time, let's take a look at the table so you can see the final standings in detail. You know, when doing a second tournament, you hope to see some interesting results, but this was even closer than I imagined. So many upsets and dramatic finishes, And to have a tournament where I think pretty much anyone can beat anyone makes it really fun to watch and see what happens. Like last year, I'll put up some stats from the tournament as I do my final wrapping up. I want to thank Vicky and Nick on Team ABK for helping me run this again. Especially Nick and his partner Sim, who hosted at their house and kept everyone fed through the day. I want to thank Alex, Jack and Tere for taking part, and Ollie for his cameo in the introduction, as he was sorely missed on the day and I know that he really wanted to do it again. Finally, thank you for watching if you've watched all 5 rounds. What was your favourite bit? If you want to see the full games, you can find a playlist on ABK Archive of all the games without commentary. If this is your first ABK Studios video, we are a channel that does a mix of gaming related content. We have Banjo-Kazooie and Zelda parodies. We have a podcast called Big Nostalgia, which is about old video games we grew up with, and it recently released its 4th season. We also have other gaming content on the channel covering series like Mario Party, Mario Maker and Overcooked. And let me know in the comments what you thought of the tournament, which team you supported, who your MVP was and why, and if you would watch us if we did a 3rd tournament in 2027. And with that, all that's left to say is congratulations to Alex and the Chaotic Kongs. Some hard fought wins and a well deserved trophy. And I'll end by once again saying to Nintendo and Sega, forget the tennis, forget the golf, make an official Mario and Sonic rugby game. You know it'd be great. There's a World Cup next year, it's perfect timing. I'd buy it. Anyway, see you in the next video. Bye.